You're listening to This Is My Side Hustle. The tips, tools, and advice you need to optimize your life live here. If you're looking to unlock the secrets to additional income by engineering your choices around your ideal lifestyle, you're in the right place. Stay tuned and join us as we unpack unconventional ideas and methods to give you more freedom and flexibility. Let's escape the rat race together and live with intention. Let's learn how others are making it pay with their side hustles. Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 29 of This Is My Side Hustle. Today I want to talk a little bit about how to get and keep clients if you're a freelancer. But before I get started on what I want to talk about today, I wanted to wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving. This episode is going to go live on the Wednesday right before Thanksgiving 2019. So I hope you all have a safe and wonderful Thanksgiving and enjoy your meal. And to those of you who maybe have lost a loved one and this is your first Thanksgiving without them, I'll be praying for you. I hope, you're surrounded by family and friends who love you, and you can take the time to think about all the good times that you had with the person maybe you have lost. But having said that, I wanted to definitely say something like that since this is coming out right before Thanksgiving. But I want to move on now to getting and keeping clients. And so some of the first things I'm going to talk about is outreach tips and tactics that freelancers, or really any kind of consultant who works from home, can use. So marketing is crucial, especially for freelancers. Sitting behind your screen with the expectation that new clients are going to come strutting in is kind of a fruitless effort because they won't. However, the opportunity freelancing offers you is tremendous because you can provide services to a business without them having to make heavy hiring commitments and employment costs, which means a lot of companies are already on the lookout for freelancers. So the problem isn't so much in what you offer, as research already shows that businesses feel more comfortable hiring freelancers, especially in recent years. A recent report stated that over 55% of companies have the intention to increase their freelance staff. The report went even further to state that 40% of organizations prefer hiring freelancers due to being able to scale freelancers in accordance to the needs of their business. But how do you put your brand out there as a freelancer and get positive results? Let's talk about it. So obviously, number one, marketing is non-negotiable. Zero marketing equals zero business. This is a vital realization you must come to at the start of your freelance efforts. Get out there, send pitches, proposals, email outreaches, etc. You can even use proposal templates that you can find online to make the process simpler. If you just Google freelance proposal templates or whatever industry that you're in, or even consultant proposal templates, you can find all sorts of things out there. Get ideas, customize it with your brand, and that'll help. Next, you want to put a brand on you. So branding is highly misunderstood, especially for freelancers. Some oversimplify it to extremes by thinking it revolves around having a personal logo, and others blow it way out of proportion by believing it only belongs to the major players of whatever industry they're in. But the truth is, branding encompasses every area of your business. How do you speak to clients? What's the public opinion about your services? What's your personality or your company's personality like? So it's not just for the big boys in the game. As a freelancer, you need to develop a powerful reputation that speaks for you. The first steps to this would be, number one, write down 3 major adjectives you think describe you. Number 2, write down 3 adjectives you want your clients to use to describe you. Number 3, get 3 close friends or family members to honestly write what they think about your freelance brand. So if you've already started branding somewhat, ask these people what images come to mind, what words come to mind when they see your branding. If you haven't started that yet, maybe give them an idea of, what you want your brand to convey and ask for their opinions on ideas. And number 4, if it's similar to what you described, you might be on the right track. Otherwise, you might want to look into your services again or your branding. You might need to do a rebrand if you feel like maybe it's not conveying what you originally intended. After this, you need to pick a name for your brand, and here's what you can do. You can use your name, something like Sherry Stotler Photography, if it isn't a common name. But if it is, you might want to avoid this because it'll be difficult for prospects to locate you on social media or anywhere else on the web if you're just starting, and obviously wouldn't be topping the top of the search results on most platforms. If you intend to turn your freelance business into a team, you need to take that into consideration as well. It'd be a more profitable path to choose a company name instead that relates with the personality, services, and reputation you're aiming to create. I always suggest this rather than maybe just putting your name on it as a freelancer, just using your name, mainly because your hopes is to become more profitable and grow, probably. So as you're doing that, you might need to have team members that come on board, and they need to be aware of what kind of brand and what kind of an image you're trying to portray. The last step to branding your freelance efforts is designing a method that allows you to market your services 24/7 without your consistent input. To achieve this, you'll need a web presence, which can be attained by ensuring you have a website that details your services, who you are, and why you do what you do. Basically, a killer story about you or your company. The 3 adjectives you got in the first step that you want clients to describe you with can be included in your bio and an about section of your website, or even a mission statement. You'll also need a social media presence based on the platform. You can summarize the details of your company and services in the appropriate word lengths for each social network. So each social network, such as Instagram, has a character limit for bios, same with Twitter. So you need to try to be concise and think about the words you use carefully. Okay, the next thing you need to do is set time for marketing. It's vital to set time apart every day, especially if you're just getting started. So I know in my own business, I have cut down on my marketing efforts because it does take a lot of time, but I'm fairly established now and several years out. At the beginning, I did a lot more marketing, mainly to get brand awareness. And here's why. Data shows that freelancers believe their career is more stable than corporate jobs by having a varying portfolio of clients than working with one employer. And I think this tends to be true across the board. 67% of freelancers agree that freelancing provides an alternative way to support a family besides a traditional employer-based job. And 63% of freelancers agree that a diversified portfolio of multiple clients is more secure than just having one employer or one client. So the stats reveal that many clients can boost and guard your income as a freelancer. Basically, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. To achieve this, allocate a day or two monthly, and a lot more if you're starting out, strictly for finding new clients. If you already have clients and are submerged in work, you could try waking up early for extra marketing time. So you want to make sure that you pitch, and it's not just about outreach emails or answering posts on freelance sites for opening. It also involves your current clients. Things like setting up a meeting, making a call, sending clients an interesting link about happenings in your niche. This all falls in the line with a pitch. It's all about keeping the communication lines of a business opportunity open. This is especially important on LinkedIn. You don't just want to reach out to people with a cold pitch. You want to see how they what they have in common with you, how you both can benefit each other. Try to start to form a relationship. You can send them a message or two saying what you like about what they do, and touch base somewhat frequently with them. That's how you form relationships on something like LinkedIn. It's a little different than networking in person, but it's definitely important to network online. Hey, if you want to be a freelancer, you've got to get paid. So how do you send invoices to your clients? Well, I recommend Square. If you sign up for Square through the link makingitpaytostay.com/square, that's SQARE, you'll receive free processing on up to $1,000 in credit card transactions for the first 180 days. So you'll basically save $30, which could come in handy, on all of your processing fees for the first $1,000. After that, you'll pay the standard 2.6% plus 10 cents per swipe for all major credit cards. It's still cheaper than PayPal. So I highly recommend you go to Square. You can check them out again at makingitpaytostay.com/square. And the cool thing about Square is you can easily set up a template. You can have recurring invoices. You can let your clients add their preferred credit card. And it makes it super easy to see if they've viewed the invoice or not, because then they have no excuse if they're not paying on time or if they're delayed, if you can see that they clearly saw the invoice in their email inbox. So again, go to makingitpaytostay.com/square and sign up today to get free processing up to $1,000. That's $30 back in your pocket. And yes, it is cheaper than PayPal. And also, yes, you can invoice foreign currencies as well. In fact, I use Square for my Canadian clients because then I don't have to worry about all of the transaction fees that come with foreign accounts. So go to makingitpaytostay.com/square. That's SQUARE, and I almost forgot how to spell Square. But do that, and you'll see $30 that you wouldn't see otherwise if you used another processor. And don't stop marketing when you're busy. You can slow it down, but you never know when you're going to lose a client. And that means lost income. So you can definitely slow it down, but you don't want to just quit altogether. According to a recent survey, 39% of freelancer respondents stated that in their major block to marketing was simply not enough time. So not enough time was the largest amount of respondents in this study. A little bit lower was they didn't think their marketing efforts would result in more clients and revenue. Some of them said they just didn't enjoy marketing, and some of them said they just had a lack of know-how. But that's not all. Finding gigs and income stability are the top barriers to doing more work as a freelancer. The stats I just told you about reveal one of the biggest mistakes you can make as a freelancer when starting and when you're fairly well established. And it's getting so busy that you forget to market yourself. You've got to ensure that there's no vacuum in your marketing efforts. When you're working on your current gigs, you need to be lining up subsequent deals to eliminate any unproductive space between or downtime. So you want to avoid the leaky roof farmer syndrome. When it's raining, the roof is left leaky because it's too wet to have it fixed. When it's dry, there's no need to fix it because the house is as good as any other. So don't do that. Never stop. You can slow down, but never stop. Meetings count as marketing. As much as is possible, don't turn down meeting invitations. Such tedious interruptions of your schedule may sometimes be your best marketing opportunities. Meetings are an excellent place to forge new relationships and strengthen existing ones with your current clients. This following quote by freelance trainer Jennifer summarizes the point. Just because a prospect doesn't need your services currently doesn't mean they won't want it later. Those meetings and conference calls will eventually pay off. And also, don't be hesitant in marketing. I know I struggle with this myself, but if you're certain on your expertise, there's no need to feel that prospects may think of your marketing efforts as pushy. When it comes to freelance marketing, you're reaching out to people who need your offers and would have already been your clients if they were aware that your offer existed. So keep in mind that the demand for freelancers is huge. After all, in 2016 alone, data from freelancer.com revealed that the platform received 10.6 million job postings with over 2.9 billion paid transactions. So that's a lot. That's a huge amount. It's an indication that businesses have a huge demand for freelancers. All you need to do is to let them know what you offer and that you offer the services that they need. Next, you need to find the best marketing strategy. About 78% of freelancers stated referral as their best marketing tactic. 44.8% said SEO was the best way for them. SEO means search engine optimization, while 49% and 33% revealed that networking and social media marketing was respectively the best way to market their brand. So my advice is to use a little bit of all of that. It's not just one marketing strategy that you should employ. You should have your eggs in several baskets. You need to find what method gets to your target audience most effectively. Put a little more effort into that, but don't just stay in one place. Stick to 2 or 3 marketing tactics, but don't be spread too thin. While you may work with certain general guidelines in picking the right strategy, you'll only find your best strategy through experimentation. So it might be helpful to go through the multi-marketing channels route initially and then slowly narrow it down to 1 or 2 methods that have proved most effective. For instance, if you're into articulate marketing, your initial marketing moves may be to hire a PR company, run a seminar, and start a blog. After a set time, you can compare the results of each of those marketing ideas, then focus and scale in the most profitable methods, say blogging. Next, you need to respond quickly. It's really important to respond quickly to requests from your clients. A great way to gain a good reputation for your business is to deliver quality work based on instructions given at the expected time. But in certain scenarios, clients may request you deliver work over the weekend. And if you do, people remember stuff like that. So being able to consistently respond and deliver work requires that you're always available by email, phone, and you return emails and calls promptly, even on the weekends. So you don't necessarily need to do the work. You can set boundaries with your clients and say, I only work Mondays through Fridays at these times. But if they send you an email or call you over the weekend, try to respond fairly quickly and just say, hey, I'll get that done on Monday morning, or you can expect this Tuesday afternoon or whatever. Just wanted to let you know I got your email and that, it hasn't fallen through the cracks. The next thing you want to do, and this is one of my favorite things, is to automate processes. This is a huge time saver. It makes my life so much easier, and I think every freelancer can always improve on automating their processes. So whenever you find yourself doing certain tasks repeatedly, ask yourself, how can it be done just once and applied to everything? To stay afloat or make the big bucks in freelancing, you need to have multiple things running concurrently, and sometimes it's just not feasible to do them by yourself. This is where automation comes in. SEO consultant Bill Wilder put it best by revealing how to achieve effective automation with these 3 steps. Number 1, elimination. That means get rid of anything that you're doing that you shouldn't be doing. Anything that, is a time suck. Maybe you're doing things, posting for clients on social media, and you find that you're sucked into the social media hole and distracted. There are definitely tools out there you can use for this. I will be doing a future episode on some of my favorite freelancing tools to help you in all areas of your business. One that I highly recommend is called the Facebook Feed News Blocker. You can find it on the Chrome app, or a Chrome extension store. I'm sorry, it's totally free. You can go to your Chrome extension store, find it, install it, and then when you go on Facebook, it blocks your entire newsfeed and just gives you a little quote. I use this all the time, in my business. When I'm on Facebook, I'm constantly on Facebook posting for my clients, scheduling posts for my clients, answering messages for my clients. But I never get sucked into any kind of stupid memes or cat videos because I've got the news blocker on there. So I can do everything I need to do as far as marketing goes on Facebook, but I'm not then wasting my time looking at things that I don't need to be doing. Hey baby, you know what I find sexy? Cash back. That's right. And if you want a cash back credit card for your business, you've got to check out Chase 8. Go to makingitpaytostay.com/Inc. And if you spend $3,000 in your first 3 months, you'll get $500 cash back. There's a 0% interest APR on purchases for the first 12 months. You get unlimited 1.5 cash back rewards on every purchase made for your business. You can redeem it for cash back, gift cards, travel, and more through Trace Ultimate Rewards. The cashback rewards don't expire as long as your account is open, and best of all, there's no annual fee. So if you're thinking about starting your own business or becoming a freelancer, go to makingitpaytostay.com/Inc. INK. Because there's nothing sexier than cashback or being your own boss. Another thing is automation, obviously. So elimination, automation, and delegation. I'm going to talk a little bit more about automation tools, like I said, in a future episode. But the other thing I wanted to talk about is delegation. So after you've found things that are just unproductive and eliminated them, you then would need to find out the tasks you're doing and don't need to be done by you and automate them. But lastly, there are activities you just can't use a bot for, like responding to the unique questions of a client. And you can hire a virtual assistant to do those for you. So for delegation, the best thing to start delegating are simple tasks that a general VA can do. After that, you might want to see where else you're spending a lot of your time and then get another freelancer who specializes in that to do it for you. For instance, a graphic designer. If you find yourself spending way too much time doing graphics, you could then hire a freelance graphic designer to do that for you. Everything else, give to your virtual assistant. It's important to note that all these steps must be backed by data. So go through the performance results of each aspect of your business and match the time spent on them versus the results they produced. The data will help you know what to focus on, what to automate, what to delegate, and what to eliminate. So let me just run through a few tools, and I'll try to talk a little slowly for this so you have a chance to write them down, but I will also put these in the show notes. And I will go into more of these during the either next episode or a future episode called Freelancing Tools. So here are some right off the top of my head you can use for automation. Number 1, Buffer. Buffer is used for scheduling social media posts. It's a huge time saver. I love it. The only platform it doesn't work with is Google My Business. There is an app called OneUp app, I believe, and I will link to that in the show notes for Google My Business. But all of the other platforms you can schedule to through Buffer. Number 2, Google Alerts. That's basically for client prospecting via search. So what you would do is you would go to Google and you would type in create a Google alert. And then you can put in keywords, perhaps of your industry or even your job description. So if you're a graphic design freelancer, you could put in graphic design freelancer in Google Alerts. And then anytime there's a new post or a new web page that's published about graphic design freelancer, you would get notified. The cool thing about this is a lot of times it pulls job postings. So if someone's looking for a graphic design freelancer, you're going to get that in your Google Alerts straight in your inbox. Number 3, Meet Edgar. This is kind of like Buffer. It's a little more robust. It schedules social media posts, but what Meet Edgar does is it allows you to repost certain things. So you can decide what things you want to go out every so often, what things are kind of evergreen. So evergreen content, perhaps marketing your services or something like this. In Meet Edgar, you could schedule it to post every 3 weeks onto various social media platforms and never stop. So that is very helpful. You don't have to continually reload something like Buffer with the same posts. Number 4, Motion AI. That's basically for chat automation. Unless you're super busy, you probably don't need this. But if you're a freelancer who has something like an online store or something that needs a lot of customer service, you would want to check out Motion AI. Number 5, Awario. That's A-W-A-R-I-O. That's for keeping track of job opportunities on social platforms. It's really helpful if you're trying to continually have a pipeline of new potential clients coming in. Number 6, HubSpot meetings. This is a good way to schedule meetings with potential or current clients. Number 7, IFTTT, which means if this, then that, or Zapier. So these two tools, IFTTT or Zapier, automate all kinds of personalized connection between software. So basically, what it does is you can say, if I publish a blog post, please post it on these social media sites. Or if I send an email newsletter out, please add it to my calendar to remind me to do it next week. It automates all kinds of different tasks for you so that you don't have to continually remember to do them yourselves or to, even a virtual assistant. There are all kinds of really, really cool things on there. For instance, IFTTT, you can say things like, if it rains in my area, funnel $5 to my savings account, which is really cool. So there's so many different options for this. Definitely check both of those out. I imagine it would probably save you several hours a week, and there's also just fun ones like the automatic savings thing. Number 8, SEO PowerSuite Toolkit. That's for manual SEO data check. It basically automates it all. So rather than constantly checking on your SEO and everything, it automatically does it for you by crawling your website and the web to see where you're popping up. It just is helpful. It's not going to save you a ton of time if you don't already do that, but it's good to have your finger on the pulse of how your business is showing up in search engines. Number 9, Mailshake. Mailshake is basically cold outreach automation. So if you do a lot of cold outreach emails, rather than having your VA do that or doing it yourself, Mailshake does it for you. Again, a big time saver. It's important though to try to make a cold outreach email seem a little more personal. It's good to sometimes add humor and say, I know we all hate cold outreach emails, things like that. It makes it a little funner to read for the person who's receiving it. And try to stand out as well. And number 10, And Co. It's actually called that, And Co, A-N-D space C-O. This is for automation contracts, time tracking, proposals, invoicing, expense tracking, and task management. Basically, a lot of the things that you would probably have to spend money on separately as a freelancer, And Co does a whole bunch for you all in one spot. So check all of those tools out. Again, I will link to all of these in the show notes, and in the future I will be talking about more specific tools for different things you can use, like calendar tools and proposal tools, time tracking tools, I'll tell you which ones I use and why I use them. Cloud storage tools. We'll go over all the different things that are available to you, but tools and automation are really going to be a lifesaver in your freelancing business. Now, that's all I have for you today. I wanted to make a quick and short episode today since it's the holiday weekend. People are probably getting ready for Christmas. They're really not thinking about expanding their business this weekend, but I wanted to give some helpful tips since I had a podcast release due, and I definitely hope to go into more in-depth freelancing tools and tips in a future episode. I'm thinking about doing an episode, probably maybe the next one or the one after that, before Christmas, about Christmas gifts for freelancers, Christmas gifts for clients. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to that or not. If you want to let me know what you want to hear about, be sure to DM me on Instagram. That's at Making It Pay Lifestyle, or send me an email, Sherry with an I, 2 R's and an I, at makingitpaylifestyle.com. And of course, if you want to be a guest on the show, if you have tips that you think the listeners would enjoy, if you're a freelancer yourself and you have tools that you want to share or tips and tricks you use inside your business, and then you can be a guest on the show. If you go to makingitpaytostay.com/voicemail, you can leave me a voicemail, you can send me a message, you can apply to be a guest on the show, and I would love to hear from you. So please subscribe if you haven't already. Be sure to rate and review the podcast, share it with your friends, and until next time, this is my side hustle.